So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Cantonal Landscape panel discussion. The purpose is to discuss Web3 sector adoption in Switzerland across several cantons represented here today. And today we have Vincent Subilia, Director of the Geneva Chamber of Commerce. We have Nicolas Vradis, Business Manager at the Economic Development Department from Neuchatel. We have Paolo Bortolin, Deputy CFO and member of the city's blockchain and crypto task force, City of Lugano. And we have Patrick Barbey, Managing Director at Innovaud. So welcome our fantastic panelists. And we have just maybe 30, maybe even a bit less minutes panel discussion, and let's dive into the questions. So Switzerland has been pioneering in developing legal framework and building institutional infrastructure and providing some even tax clarity on treatment certain DLC business and transactions. And thanks to this, it remains to be a popular location to blockchain companies. How has this sector been welcomed and developed and cultivated in your cantons? I don't know, Vincent, maybe we can start with you.
With pleasure. Thank you again for having me on the stage. I'm the local guest here coming from Geneva, and I'd like first and foremost to commend on the initiative of having Crypto Valley moving to the Lake Geneva region and making sure that we can all be aligned on the bold initiatives that you're taking. Second, a short disclaimer, being the CEO of the Geneva Chamber of Commerce, which is a private institution, I am allowed to potentially be critical of the authorities since I don't get any money from them. So that would give me, I guess, a certain leeway in what I can state. Good news is that I fully endorse your statement. I think Switzerland and potentially Geneva has been pioneer because we have a tradition of innovation. This is really enshrined in our DNA. And as I said, the good news is that private actors and the public authorities really work hand in hand, and therefore I believe that we are quite aligned. What we sometimes would need is bolder ambition in making sure that the footprint of blockchain and hence crypto be more broadly promoted here. That said, I believe that Geneva and here will act as a very modest ambassadors of our assets, truly blends some key advantages for any companies, and we count a lot of them, including here in the room. There are about 50 companies that are active within that field of activities, generating roughly 4,000 jobs. So this is something which really has reached a maturity stage, and I believe, again, being totally biased here, that we combine all necessary assets, starting with what we call the Geneva spirit, which is the fact that we have the talent pool, that we have the necessary framework business conditions, but that on top of it, Geneva and its branding being often associated to that international exposure. And therefore, I think this is a very fertile environment for initiative in that respect. But I still humbly believe that there's more we can do. Having been active in the banking field myself in moons ago and being a lawyer initially, I believe that we've set the right framework at the national level, and I think here Switzerland has really been pioneer in that respect. But I think there's a lot more that we can do, and there's truly a momentum here. So that's why your event is very timely. So thank you again for having me, and looking forward to listening to my dear colleagues.
Thank you. We have microphone.
Thank you. So I am Nicolas Vradis. I am working for smaller startups. The canton of Neuchatel is a small canton in Switzerland. And we started in 2014 with the blockchain adventure, or crypto adventures, depending you know how in this domain. And with a small startup, it was a broker, and they trying to open a bank account. And in this year, it was in Neuchâtel had a planetary alignment. Because when the company comes in the economic promotion, they have a geek. They understood the question on the technology. We had a minister of the economy. There was an EPFL ICT engineer. So they really understand how the blockchain is working. And together with a lawyer company, we started to find a solution for this company, because the lawyer company say all the documentation of the company, of the startup is clear. They respect all the Swiss regulations, so why you can't open a bank account for this broker? And we started like that. And after that, many other companies came in Neuchatel. The ecosystem is growing from 2014. Today, it's like around 70 companies. And one key in our canton on why we are there today is because it's a great ecosystem with people, they working together, they discussing, they finding solution together. This is very important. And we made a lot of partnership with public and private ecosystems. So we have the University of Neuchâtel and the Department of Law. They started to work about all the law about that kind of technology. Some technical institution, they started to see, we can put some part of this technology in our component. And step by step, we put this ecosystem to growing, or to have a nice international presence, but not because we're talking, but because we are maker. Many companies in Neuchâtel building some technology, and all around the world, they didn't really know where is Neuchâtel in the map, but they know this company is in Neuchâtel, and they know. And for me, today, the great things we have to know, especially for the banking systems, is to learn. You have to learn a lot about this technology. You have to onboard on your board people, they know the technology. You have to make some course for your client relation people, because it's not so easy to understand it, and it's a part of the internet revolution. The blockchain didn't stop tomorrow. We can say this blockchain is better than another one, this one is a scam or that, but the real thing, it's a part of the web revolution, and we cannot working without. They are not here to stop in 10 years. It's not a bubble, but you have to understand that. And I think if you are there, it's a good point, because you're starting to say maybe we can learn about that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk too much, sorry, because
Thank
I can
you.
talk a lot. So Paolo.
Hello, yes. Do you hear?
Yes.
Okay, good morning everybody, thanks for the invitation. Let's start from the beginning. Canton of Ticino, I think back in 2018, was one of the founder of the Swiss Blockchain Federation. So already on the forefront of the blockchain. But then for some years, there was many companies operating in Ticino, but not organized as a community. So in 2020, the city of Lugano came up with its own stablecoin. We issued a stablecoin to solve a problem on the pandemic. I'm not going to tell you the story because it's very long, but basically we have today probably the first, or let's say the most used stablecoin in the world as a city, because I'm representing the city, not the canton. And this is the first step that Lugano took to approach blockchain and crypto. Starting from that, we said, okay, let's go deeper in the adoption of blockchain. So we set up our own blockchain. Today we have 2 digital bonds issued on SDX. We are here at the Banking Symposium, so this should be one of the very first topics to talk about. And then we met what today is our big partner, which is Tether. We met the heads of Tether, and we decided to do something more together. So in 2022, we launched Lugano's Plan B, which is an initiative of the city of Lugano, not of the canton, just to make it this clear. And then the Lugano Plan B is just everything about pushing the adoption of blockchain and crypto for the city of Lugano, for the city administration, but also for the population, the companies, and the ecosystem. So today we have many companies there. They were already there. We are attracting many companies. We met in the last 2.5 years hundreds of companies, really hundreds of companies, amazing. And then some moved and some are moving right now. And thanks to this Lugano Plan B, we took visibility around the world. I'm doing a lot of panels around the world. It's just amazing how now Lugano is known as one of the hubs in Switzerland, which, let's be clear, Switzerland as a hub is the most important point, because Switzerland is just an amazing country for the legislation we have, for the way we push blockchain in the different regions, Geneva, Neuchatel, and Zug, and Lugano, but also because we have a Swiss National Bank who is doing tests. Oh, well, actually, there are no more tests. You know, a Swiss National Bank issued a real wholesale central bank digital currency. So we are really on the forefront, and we have to really run for being as a system, international system, as a country. And then inside of the country, we have different models, but doesn't matter. I mean, we have to lead the Swiss way to do, and this is something that is happening. It's really happening. And when we go outside and present this kind of model, like Lugano, I talk always about Neuchatel, also with, certainly Crypto Valley. But at the end of the day, the people outside, the community outside of Switzerland, they see Switzerland as a hub.
Yeah.
And so talking about the region, okay, but really the Switzerland system is something that's real. And we have to run, because others are coming up, Singapore, etc. So we don't have to lose this time, the timing, and we have to keep this in our hands. So basically, this is what's happening in Lugano right now.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good morning. I can testify on this fact that Switzerland is known for well, crypto hospitality. Let's say I was in New York last week, and this is really something that's known also in the States. So we have an attractivity, and we have to build on that as a country. Innovaud is the agency for Canton de Vaud to support innovation, local innovators, but also foreign companies wanting to set up in Switzerland. And we have a focus on technology innovation and business model innovation from the start. And among the 5 key verticals we are focusing on is trust technologies. And trust technologies include DLT-based technologies, crypto, but also cybersecurity or digital health, for example. And this is within that context that we support crypto companies. We have 4 main type of support. There is financial support, of course, for tech-based companies. They can get up to 100K in support from the canton, and also in some cases 100K loan if they are related to an academic institution. But also we try to give them access to investors, and you may have seen last year that the Swiss Venture Capital report reported actually 450 million in Canton de Vaud, and 200 more were invested via public markets. So there is that financial aspect. There is coaching. We also have 60 coaches who can intervene on companies, because very often the technical aspect of crypto is mastered within the company, but it remains a startup with all challenges in organization, in growing governance, and there are coaches who can help free of charge for this. And then there is the hosting part. We have 8 innovation parks in Canton de Vaud, and the latest one is Unlimited Trust in Lausanne that's been created by the SICPA company, and it welcomes all trust tech-related ventures. And this is a very interesting place to set up a company. And finally, we have an activity around promoting the companies, so success stories, interviews, but also events. And this is where we are happy to support also the Crypto Valley Association. We did an event last year. There'll be in a couple of weeks also a Women in Web3 special event, because it's important also to support women. And I see in this room, well, the proportion, well, there is some margin for improvement in that area. But probably the most important part is the Trust Valley initiative and cluster that's between Geneva and Vaud. And really it has different programs to showcase innovators, but also support them in the Trust Tech acceleration program that's already in its 5th or 6th edition now, and bringing also foreign companies joining the community. So this is thriving, but I completely agree that this is something we have to do together, and we will all win much more if we align our messages, and this is really a Swiss challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So we can see that there is actually the interest at cantonal level to support and to attract blockchain-related companies. I believe these companies seen as potential taxpayers, as places for employment, and the growth is evident. I mean, we see the growth of this sector and the number of companies. Also, academia, for example, also following these trends and providing some programs in order to support the correct professional preparation of this sector, providing some blockchain-related and fintech-related programs. At the same time, banks still seem to be quite reluctant to enter this sector, and there might be various reasons for this. Ilya mentioned a few of them, and it will be addressed during the symposium today. But my question is, do you see these challenges? Because sometimes, although very few of them, the banks, they have started offering crypto. When it comes to business and blockchain-related companies, they're still facing some challenges while trying to work with traditional banks, having operating accounts or even consignment accounts with the banks. It's quite difficult, and Nicolas also mentioned this problem already. How you are dealing with that? First, do you even see these challenges as obstacles while attracting the new business, blockchain-related business, and how you're dealing with this problem in your canton, and how you think ideally this challenge should be addressed? Thank you. I don't know, maybe Nicolas, you can start?
You hear me? Yes. They have two things. At the federal level, the regulation started very good in Switzerland, where Switzerland was pioneer for many other countries in this domain. Unfortunately, they didn't continue to run, and for the bank, they have the two levels. They have to respect the federal rules, but they have the responsibility sometimes to say, stop, it's enough. We cannot, because we're discussing a lot with the Cantonal bank in Neuchatel and with the other bank, and it's very, very complicated for all the question of compliance to every 6 months or every month to adapt a new rules and new things. And today it's impossible. It's humanly impossible for the people to manage all of them for a small bank. Mm-hmm. So for the bank, they have the responsibility sometimes to say, okay, now we have to discuss and to stop that, because they have too much international rules on that, and they suffocating about that. This is one of the real problems for the bank. And in Neuchâtel, we started in 2017. We tried to look how it's possible to work without a bank. So we developed a process to helping company to go into the register of the commerce without a bank account, with a ledger, with an hardware wallet, just to say, this is my token, I have that. And we plan all of that with the register of the commerce, with all of the different partners to make that. And the question we had from the start is how we can making something new, but with the respecting of the law. Because we didn't want to have the responsibility to making something bad, and after that, all the ecosystem are banned because of a bad action. And the truth today is like 1/3 of the company we have in Neuchâtel are not without bank accounts. Many small product is existing today. Possibility you can pay today with crypto on telegrams. Some company in Neuchâtel built some boats, and you can send Bitcoin or Satoshi, because it's but you can send Bitcoin, you can send Ethereum, you can send many of that crypto only just by typing in telegrams. It's existing. Is there. We have other company with Lightning Network with that. They started to make for commerce to pay with Bitcoin or with your wallet, with your phone. You already made that very greatly in Lugano during the COVID. So many of this product is already existing. So now the bank have just to say to go and to say, okay, we want to be a part of this change, or you can be a pioneer, you can be a follower, or you can die.
So your suggestion still to integrate this technology to banks, despite of KYC
Sorry for
complexity
my.
and everything. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Maybe.
Can I go on?
Yeah.
One of my responsibilities as Lugano Plan B is to build the bridge between the traditional finance and let's say the fintech and the blockchain finance. The two digital assets that I created in SDX, which are our two bonds of 200 million, it's a step to show to the banking sector that, you know, we're not talking about anything special, it's just blockchain is a technology. So I talked to many banks, maybe 20, 25 banks. You know, Lugano is not like Geneva, but we are the third financial hub of Switzerland, so we care about banks, and we want the banks to be on the forefront because it's a big sector for us. So talking to them at the beginning was really resistant. Today, let's say half interested, half neutral. Before they were maybe 80% against. But let's be honest, I've been head of retail banking for PostFinance Southern Switzerland, so in Ticino, and I also worked in the risk management of a bank some years ago. I think compliance is doing their job. I mean, to be a compliant officer, it's very difficult. You know, you have a lot of responsibilities, but come on, you were some direct, I will be even more direct. There are a huge margin from 0 to 100. If 100 is the full risk and 0 is no risk, today we are going around 0.5. So we can go up and onboard some companies and some individuals because it's just a technology. There are no risks behind this. Legislation in Switzerland allow banks to do much, much more than what they do. So it's just scaring the compliance. I think you have to build the culture inside of the bank, bring one person who has the culture and build up the culture from inside. Because if you just rely to people outside, you will never build this culture on the compliance side. Compliance is not a problem. Compliance is an important sector, but it's slowing down everything. So why don't you open accounts to startups that are just, startups on the blockchain, not even transacting on Bitcoin? I can understand you have transacted Bitcoin, maybe okay, but just, maybe on logistics. What is the problem? There are no problems.
What would be your
it's just a cultural point.
For the banks?
Sorry?
What would be your suggestion for the banks?
Just to take a look. I'm sure that the compliance, to build up the compliance and the knowledge on this field cost a lot of money, sure, but invest, because this is the future. Now there are some banks coming up, fintech banks with the special license. I'm not going to give you the name, but I think one of the representatives is here in the room. They will take the market. And at one point, when the banks realize that, okay, now it's fine, we can go into the market, it's too late. Because the image on the community will be just, yeah, sure. Now you come, now it's too late. I'm already in the other side. And sometimes I heard about companies going out of Switzerland because they found a bank in Spain or whatever, that they opened them the account. That's ridiculous. We are the banking of the world. So let's do our job. Let's take the responsibility. Let's invest money on this and build the culture from inside.
Perfect.
That's my message. And you can do it. Yeah. You can do it. You can really do it.
Very promising, and convincing.
I don't want the companies to move from Switzerland because of the bank account.
Exactly.
And honestly, I know about some very important bank that they say, no, blockchain, no. And then somebody comes say, oh, I opened the account there. Why? Well, because my father has a 100 million deposit there, so they opened the account for my company. Come on. So you can do it, right? You can do it. Okay, thank you.
No,
okay.
I must say this is unfortunately true. This is a real difficulty because already to be able to align the stars for a company to open in Switzerland, you need to convince them it's the right place. It's a process that takes a lot of time. And currently, opening the bank account is a real difficulty. We succeed, we are happy about that most of the time, but it's becoming a very difficult process to find a bank because there is no one bank solution. And we very often approach together with the new company, up to 10 banks in order to find the one that will accept to open a bank account, which should be a very basic thing. So I confirm this is really an issue.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, we're about running out of time. So Vincent, do you have something to summarize, to add to these points?
Maybe a concluding remark again. echoing what has been boldly stated by my colleagues. I think at the end of the day, it's a question of mindset, and that's why the culture that we can, all of us as ambassador of these technologies, blow within these institutions is key, because we don't want the banking sector, especially here in Geneva, which is a cradle to wealth management and a pillar in commodities trading, to be the bottleneck in that success story that we're building together. So at the end of the day, it comes back to the fact that we can walk the talk. It's important to do some pedagogy. And it all goes back to, I think, the key word of what has been used here, trust, because this is what, again, is really the true DNA of what Switzerland can offer to the world. So again, some successful milestones ahead, provided we can do our job and plead the right cause within our regions. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you. So thank you for your thoughts and experience. And thank you all of us for joining.